Ariadne on Asterios' imprisonment in the Labyrinth. Most people couldn't understand him. You had to listen. He had a way of speaking, some sounds, some signs, give, please, help, and usually about our mother, mine. Ma was mother, obviously. He called me Ni. He'd tilt his head if he wanted to be petted, could sway it for a no and nod for yes. Sometimes he was rough, but I could manage him. The trick was to kick him behind the knees and he'd fold like a pile of blocks. We had a sign for sorry. You patted your chest. Sometimes I find myself patting there still, that blighted, sorry place, as I apologise to him, lost in that faraway forgetting zone. After his imprisonment, I'd lead him out at night. Daedalus showed me the way, the concealed door, the lock, the thread. At first, my brother would run like mad ahead of me along the path, head down, making his noise for happy, tacking back and forth. Often we went to the beach and swam in the dark, the water firing all round us with tiny phosphorescent sparks. He'd spout the water out of his mouth like a joyous black-furred dolphin. When he was tired, he'd lie on the damp sand and watch the extravagant sky, a little noise for each slipped star, the Milky Way reflected in his eyes. For months it was enough, but we are grandchildren of the sun. It sickens us not to feel its blaze. After a while, I could barely coax him out at night. And when we sat, all he would do was rest his head against his knees and slump and rock. Then he became so thin he could barely walk. I'd lead him tottering out and he'd sink to the ground, too weak to make the beach. He stank of piss. I was afraid but couldn't think of how to get him free. I made excuses to visit less and was ashamed. One night he turned his face to me and tilted so I'd stroke his cheek and signed the words slowly, clearly. I heard them plain as if he'd placed them singly in my brain. Want, die. And then he made the sign for help. Brother, look at me now. I'm signing sorry. It took me months to say yes. It took me years to find a way. And by the time he came with his swagger and deceit, looking under his eyelashes at our sister Phaedra, you'd lost all speech. You were eating your own feces. You didn't know me. You didn't know yourself.